Welcome back again to Everyday Cooking with Ann Sigurd, where I'll show you how easy it is to make delicious, nutritious food on a budget from scratch, step by step. You'll find the full recipe of our video today in the description below, along with a link to my cookbook. Subscribe to my video and I will become your personal cooking coach. By the way, in my cookbook, you will find over 300 recipes of family favorites that include everything from appetizers to breads, beverages, soups and salads, veggies and sides, and of course, lots of desserts and grain dishes as well. In today's video, we're going to be talking about probably a countrywide, maybe worldwide favorite. Practically everyone has made chocolate chip cookies, and everybody has their best version of what they have. So we have a very special version. We call it Brandon's Famous Chocolate Chip Cookies. We gave my son Brandon that name because he actually developed this recipe. And let me tell you, I have shared this recipe with so many people. Of all my recipes, this is one of the top 10, and it's just chocolate chip cookies. But let me tell you the ingredients that make this cookie special and a little bit about how to make chocolate chip cookies turn out great every single time. Okay, in this recipe, some of the special ingredients besides the eggs and the flour and the sugar and the butter, those are just some of the basics. And of course, salt and baking soda. We have semi-sweet chocolate chips. And we also are going to be adding a special ingredient, butterscotch chips. Okay, that's going to make this really special. Also, we're going to be adding almonds. They give just a slight little crunch to it. Personally, I like to use whole almonds and chop them up because I just like I like nuts in just about everything. So salads to cookies, you name it. So it depends on what your preference is. Two special flavorings. We have real, of course, pure vanilla. And then we want to put in a little bit of almond extract. It gives it just a little bit different, distinctive flavor. Okay, so we're going to get started, but I want to just share one little tool that I think is really great to have when you're doing cookie making. This is a little cookie scoop. You can use it for meatballs and other things as well, but this is my go-to for cookies to make uniform, beautiful looking cookies. So we'll get started here. Now we're going to be making the famous cookie dough. If you can keep your fingers out of it, that would be really good. So we're going to get started right now. I'm putting in cold butter. I know that a lot of people put softened butter in their chocolate chip cookies, but there's a reason and a science behind using cold butter. I'm going to add that here. The reason I'm putting 2 cubes of cold butter is you don't want it to be softened, because when you put the cookie in the oven, you want the steam with the cold to react in your cookie, and it just comes out much flakier, much better, just a better consistency on your cookie. So those of you that have seen chocolate chip cookies that are kind of flat and they just don't have much substance to them, it's because they have been baked with warm butter. So use cold butter right straight from the refrigerator when you're ready to make your dough. I'm going to add in the white sugar, which is a cup. And I'm going to add in the brown sugar, which is 1 1/4 cup. And I'm going to get that going for a little bit to get mixed up. There we go. Here we go. Now, so because the butter's not softened, that's okay. And that's why it's good to use like a mixer like I have here that will break the butter up a little bit. And as soon as I can get it a little bit mixed in, I'm going to turn it up a little bit, and you can see how quickly this is kind of like making it. If you can see, it's coming together a little bit better now with the butter and the sugars. Mixing up perfectly nicely right now. And you want to kind of mix it up like this, enough like this, so that when you add the other ingredients and the chocolate chips, they'll stick to the butter. Okay, I'm going to turn it off here a moment, and I'm going to add 2 eggs. And the 2 extracts. This is going to be a 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract. Okay, a little bit more won't hurt. And then a whole teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, let's turn this back on and we'll get the eggs mixed in with the sugars and the butter. It probably takes all of 5 minutes to make this dough if you do it from your KitchenAid or your other mixer. Okay, you can see the consistency of that now. The butter's breaking down. Okay, now I'm going to be adding the flour ingredients. This is 3 cups of flour with a half a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking soda. That's all you need. I like to mix in my flour ahead of time separately with those ingredients because I want this flour not to be all clumpy falling in there. I want to have a nice consistency on my flour as if I might have sifted it. Okay, it just makes a better consistency for your cookie as well. So this is basically sifted because I whisked it, and now I'm going to add it just a little bit at a time. Turn it on low and just add this a little bit at a time. You want to do it slowly, not all at once. Okay, there you can see it's all coming together with the dough, with both mixtures. And now I'm going to add in 1.5 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips and 1 cup of butterscotch chips. And I'm going to add that in first before I add my nuts. Okay, you can see it's getting a little bit more strained about mixing it together, but it's mixing nicely and they're coming together, all mixed together. Okay, now I'm going to add my nuts. And of course, if you don't like nuts or don't want nuts, don't add them. That's our oven telling us it's time that the oven's hot enough to put the cookies in. Now, if you don't have time at this time and you want to chill your dough, that's a really good idea as well because you're going to have cold dough, which is going to make a big difference. I'll go in here and put this back into my pan. You can see all the dough is sticking to the dough hook, and you can see what the consistency is. It's not too soft. I can taste this right now because I love almond flavoring, and I'm so tempted right here on this camera to take a bite of this dough because it is so good. Okay, we're just about ready now to put it on our pan. Okay, I've been baking my cookies for actually, I checked at 10 minutes and they still didn't look quite right. So I'm now taking them out at 12 minutes and you'll see they're going to be kind of puffy looking. Okay, these are going to continue cooking in the pan, and in a little bit you'll see what they look like when they're just perfect. I'm going to put my other set of cookies in now, and now that I know that that's how long they're going to take today, I'll go ahead and set my timer for 12 minutes. It might be less time if you have a smaller cookie. It might be more time if you have a bigger cookie. So you just have to decide or figure it out as how your own oven works and what works best for you. But I keep my oven light on so I can check to see when I think they're going to be finished. I'm ready to take my second batch out of the oven. As you see, they're kind of puffy. So I'm going to let these cool in the pan for about 10 minutes. The cookies that we put in first are over here and they've been cooling about 10 minutes. So now I'm going to take them off the pan and let them cool completely on a cooling rack. And then you can see the texture and the look of the cookie is just perfect at this point. Ready to serve. Oh, another great idea with chocolate chip cookies, especially for summertime, is that you can use 2 of these cookies, put ice cream in the middle, so you're going to make a cookie ice cream sandwich. Oh, the kids will love that. They get their own 2 cookies with their ice cream, wrap it in some saran wrap and put it back in the freezer. Hand those out for the kids at any family gathering, and that will be a huge, huge hit. A chocolate chip cookie ice cream sandwich.